Round 1 of Season 2 about to start. The world champion is not here, but the constructors champions are Haas. The constructors were Williams, but the two Haas drivers and their team principal have moved over to Haas for the season. Two drivers on the mediums, three drivers on the mediums. That could be the better race tyre. Predicted strategy is a one stop for every driver. We have now got full names. But first on track, who's going to be first to set their lap is Daniel in the Haas. He will be followed by Luca, and then it will be Benedek and the two Mercedes of Klaassen and Diego. As there is a yellow flag for Luca, who may have just slowed down to get out of traffic, as Klaassen has now got past Benedek. As we're going to go on board with Daniel in the Haas as he starts his first flying lap of qualifying, as his teammate now comes out the pit lane, Leo Tregurtha. Down into turn 1, very clean, not invalidating, as he enables DRS at the exit of turn 2. And going, so far, he looks very strong. I wonder if he will be given a tow to his teammate, but majority of the drivers on the soft compound tyre and a few on the mediums, only 4, but I don't think with this number of soft runners, as there is a slight lock-up in the hairpin, very tricky turn, that there'll be quite a few lock-ups there and quite a few mistakes. As ending sector 2, another slight lock-up there, and this is a very downforce heavy bit, as he nearly gets too much on the curb, but it looks very clean as he's now purple middle sector, but that doesn't really matter because he's first on track. And he now has one final corner left of his first lap, and he is now going to cross the line, enable DRS for a 1:27.5, not a bad lap time, as Klaassen crosses for a 1:26.7, 7 tenths quicker, and then Benedek goes 5 tenths slower. But Daniel down in P3, not a great starting lap from him, as Diego now goes P4, might have had a few issues on that lap, and the Ferrari reserve Murray goes P2, 4 tenths off, and Bram on the mediums goes P5, and Webber P6, 1.5 seconds off provisional pole. Dylan P4 and Max goes P7, and we also have a few drivers starting their laps and a few drivers ending as the two Williams cross the line, both of them up between 1 second and 3.4 slow, as Diego has invalidated, just letting a few cars past. But highest is on the mediums is Bram, but his teammate now doing a run on the mediums. He's gonna probably try and match his teammate, who might be giving him a tow as he's slowing down up ahead. A little bit of oversteer going through that corner, as he now goes through the hairpin. Slight lock up as Klaassen improves and makes it a 4 tenths gap as Bram is giving his teammate a slipstream. Very good teamwork for the Aston Martins. I wonder how this middle sector will be for Milan, as he's just got slipstream. Middle sector is not purple, but it is a 106.499. Klaassen currently provisional pole, 2 laps on the tyres with a 126.7, as Milan goes around the final corner, gets a decent exit, and let's see, as he enables DRS up to the line, he goes P10, 1.5 seconds off Klaassen. The only drivers not to set laps are Luca, Lovro, Austin and Leo, but currently on a lap is Lovro. I don't think it is an out lap. 106.3 middle sector, so that is definitely quicker than the medium runners. He could be looking at, I would say, P7 to 9, as he keeps it clean through the final corner. Tight line, up to the line, he goes P10, just ahead of the Aston Martin, as now Klaassen pits and Austin is now coming out for his lap, and Luca both on out laps. Leo also not setting a lap yet. He is the only driver not to set a lap who is also not out on track, and it looks like Rasmus has actually gone P2. I missed that, so very good lap from the Williams driver. I think he also could be on a lap now. Never mind, he pulls into the pit lane. And Lovro on the in lap, I believe. Is there anyone here on laps? I believe next to start a lap will be Luca in the Alpine. Currently yet to set a lap, and he's spun on his out lap. That is not going to help his tyres at all, and Austin now slows down a bit to get a fairly big gap. And Luca starts his lap. Let's see how he goes down into turn 1. Very solid. And now let's see how his first sector is as he gets slipstream from his teammate. Maybe a little bit of dirty air. His first sector is a 28.8, not bad. And that is actually a purple, I believe, as he's still getting slipstream from his teammate. But is he also getting dirty air? Dirty air, not great. Slipstream is good. Still getting slipstream now, as my controller is disconnected. Great. And we're back. Let's see how his middle sector is. I think he is backed off, because he has dropped a lot of time there. So I think he is backed off. But let's go on board with Klaassen, currently on provisional pole, 3 tenths quicker than Rasmus. And let's see how he can improve on his current lap time. First sector so far looks very clean. Luca down in P15, and Leo is also out to try and set his first lap time. Let's see the first sector, 8 hundredths up on his current provisional pole time. This is so far, first sector purple from Klaassen, very good. Let's see how he goes down into the hairpin. No lockups, very smooth through there. He is going to try and extend his gap to P2 by maybe a tenth, maybe 2 tenths, as Benedict Levi goes P1, provisional pole by 1/10. But let's see how quick Klaassen's middle sector is. He is 3 tenths up on his previous lap time. That would put him 2 tenths on provisional pole. He has one more corner to go through, and then he will be up towards the line. Round the final corner, enables DRS up to the line, and he goes provisional pole by 1.8 tenths, but that was also a very good lap from Benedek. And let's see the Hasses as Leo is starting his first lap. Never mind, he finished it. He went P9, and Daniel also went P4. 2 Hasses improving. Only one driver on the mediums as Leon goes P1 by 0.04 of a second in the McLaren. What a lap from Leon. There will probably be another lap that everyone will be doing, so he is only on provisional pole, not on pole yet, as we still have 6 minutes 20 left of the session, as I believe Milan is crosses the line and actually goes P4. What a lap, as these times are really tumbling. But let's see how some of these laps are. Looks like lots of people are on in laps. Let's see. Yeah, I believe quite a few drivers are on in laps. Who isn't on an in lap, is it? Pretty sure most drivers are on in laps. But Diego actually goes P6. He wasn't on an in lap. Very solid from him. Mercedes and Ferrari currently looking at the strongest teams, as Austin is trying to set a better lap. Still on the mediums, still bottom of the session. So he will be looking to improve here. Let's see how good his first sector was. Still slower than his previous best, as those yellow flags for Luca, who was spun yet again at this part of the track. That is not going to help his tyre temperatures, as he dips a tyre into the gravel. And now he has to set up his next lap. So let's see how he can do this. Oh, never mind, he has pitted. Clearly those tyres not working for him. But is there anyone on laps? I believe Lovro is on a lap, so he is 1/10 up on his previous best. This would keep him P15, but cement him there as he enables DRS and crosses the line, stays P15. Not a bad lap. Nice 1/10 improvement. And I believe everyone is into the pits now, apart from the Williams, who might be pitting, might not. I believe everyone on track. Actually, one person on track, Bram, looking to set his lap. He is looking to improve because he's only in P12, as Bertram also sets up his lap, as he's going to have the Alpine in the way slightly. But they're all going to start coming out soon for their final laps, as Bram actually, he wasn't setting up a lap, he was finishing a lap, and he's also gone on provisional pole ahead of Leon, as he's actually cut the corner to give his teammate a slipstream. What very good communication between the two Aston Martins. They know exactly what they're doing. But Klaassen, I am very interested to see his comeback lap to try and get P1. But a few drivers on laps, but I'm going to be looking at Bram to see if he's either going back to the pit lane or if he's going to give his teammate slipstream. but I expect to see lots of drivers coming out of the pits at any time now. Everyone is currently on outlaps apart from Bertram, who's 4 tenths down on his previous best lap time. I wonder if he's going to pit or not. And he also has Max behind him, who he might end up giving a slight amount of slipstream to on the main straight, as there's a yellow flag in the middle of the lap. I believe that is Milan, and Bertram has abandoned that lap. But we're going to go on board with Max as he is on his lap. Let's see how he can do. Down into turn 1, very tight with the Ferrari, but I feel like that was just out of the way in time by the Ferrari. Yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, that is for the Aston Martin. Let's see Max's first sector. I don't think, he's had some, might have had some technical difficulties there, but that is not going to be that great, as Rasmus is on a lap. He is matching his first sector. He's probably going to aim, he could jump anyway into 4 tenths, as Ikmal Weber has retired, as Rasmus is 4 tenths down in the pit lane. But we're going to go on board with Milan, who, did he improve or is he just starting his lap? I'm not too sure, as the Ferrari has retired on track, but the two Hasses giving each other some slipstream. But let's see if Milan has improved in his first sector. Nearly a tenth down, but he still has the rest of the lap to improve. But we're actually going to go on board with Klaassen, because he was on provisional pole for a long time, and let's see if he can keep it. The Aston Martin stays out of the way. Let's see Klaassen's first sector. Slight lock-up, but not too bad. First sector, let's see how it was. Matching his first sector of his previous best lap on the one that was a tenth off the pace. Looking to pick it up in the middle and final sector. If Klaassen wants pole position, he will need to not keep on locking up like that, as Benedict, both Ferraris have retired from the session. That means that they know the best they can go is P4 and P6. But let's see Klaassen, let's see how his middle sector is, and then we'll tune in to either the McLaren or the Hasses. Middle sector 1.1 tenths up. That would put him on pole position if he keeps it up, as Bram can't improve on his lap time. Around the final corner, Klaassen goes, and he's going to enable DRS up to the line, and he is on pole, unless Leon can improve by 2 tenths. Let's see how his middle sector was. Middle sector 1.7 tenths up. This is going to be tight between Leon and Klaassen. The Mercedes and the McLaren, 2 Mercedes powered engines. He's got one more corner, and can he take pole position from the Mercedes? What, the Mercedes head jumps out the way to not to ruin the lap. Enables DRS up to the line, and he is on pole by 0.06 of a second. What a lap from the McLaren. That is pole position, and I don't think anyone else can stop that. I think the only one on a lap is Dylan Hughes, and he is looking to get maybe P9 as he crosses the line, and he goes P9 as I predicted. That was an intense final lap of qualifying. Leon on pole, Klaassen P2 and Bram P3. What a battle between Leon and Klaassen. Looking forward to seeing that in the race. There we are. 61 thousandths separate them. The Hasses, I must say, underperforming, only P6 and P11, considering they did win the Constructors last season. I am actually their team principal, so not too pleased with that. But Murray, the replacement for Rish, who is the world champion, not doing too bad in P7 on his first race. But that was good qualifying. Let's see how it can translate into the race as we wait for the timer to tick down. I think, looking at this now, we could have a big battle for the lead on our hands between the McLaren and the Mercedes, as they are looking strong, very strong. But 25 seconds until the race gets underway. Very intense qualifying. This controller, I can't. There we go, fixed again. Controller is absolutely well classed. And the grid is lined up, starting the formation lap. Leon leads them away. So the controller has broken again. Nice. Controller fixed. Let's set this up. Interval gaps. Tyres. The 11th to 17th. All on the medium tyres. On my screen, it could be raining. It looks like it could actually, but it's definitely not. I know it isn't. Because it never rains around Bahrain. There we go. I think we fixed the sound issue now. But Klaassen, Leon, Bram, Benedict, Milan, Daniel, Murray, Diego, Dylan, Rasmus, Leo, Webber, Bertram, Max, Lovro, Luca and Austin. There are drivers for today as they all try and get their tyres up to temperature, as Benedict is actually last on the grid. And it is actually the two Aston Martins leading. They're going side by side. Go around the final corner and they're going to line up on the grid. They're going to be looking to improve, considering they are actually the highest team. P3 and P5 for Aston Martin, which isn't bad at all. And I reckon there could be a podium from at least one of them, considering one of them is starting top 3. But as everyone lines up on the grid, 2 Red Bulls at the back, split by an Alpine of Luca. Leo lines up, last driver to line up on the grid, and lights are on, and it is lights out and away we go. Leon gets a good start ahead of Delane, Klaassen, and Benedict also a good start, but Klaassen down the inside at turn 1. Can he take the lead? No, just not quite, but Benedict also up into P3 ahead of Bram, but Klaassen now going on the attack down into turn 4, down the inside, slight amount of contact, but he is just behind Leon in the McLaren. They were battling so hard there as there is a yellow flag, as there is an issue behind, as Bram has now got back past Benedict, and Milan also trying to help his teammate out and get past. So there's a yellow flag for a Haas who has spun. That is Leo Tregurfer, P3 in the championship last season. He's now down in P17 for this race. But Klaassen hunting Leon down. Leon started on pole. Klaassen did nearly get the better start. But it's going to be between these two. Bram, maybe some others. So there's a yellow flag for, I believe, Lovro, who may have had an issue as there is a virtual safety car out. And it was Lovro who lost his front wing in the midst of that. Strategies could be going either way. No one does have a penalty yet, but when they do, we'll be informing you. Sadly, a virtual safety car does not really help a few drivers out, but just means that Leon actually is gaining a gap to Klaassen. Maybe because Klaassen isn't on the limit of how quick he can go under VSC. But Milan has actually got past Benedict under virtual safety car, and Benedict has caused his teammate to spin. I don't know what happened there. The Ferrari team principal having an issue and causing their reserve driver, his teammate for today, to go into a spin and making Aston Martin look a lot stronger, as they're now up into P3 and 4. Aston Martin are looking to take the lead of the constructors at this rate, but Luca might have had a spin under VSC, but I believe we are under green flags again, as Bram is actually now closer to Klaassen than Klaassen is to Leon. So this could be between quite a few cars, as there is a big incident behind. I believe it was Benedek who spun. Ferrari have gone from hero to zero, as Daniel up into P5, but he's a far amount behind Milan, Bram, Klaassen and Leon, the front runners. Milan is losing a slight amount of time to Bram, but Bram, Leon and Klaassen are the front runners today. They are looking to win, as Dylan actually gets past Daniel. Let's see if Daniel is going to try and get back past, as Luca gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as Bram fastest sector 1 so far of this race. He's going to try, this could just be an old-fashioned DRS train, could just be all ERS and slipstream if they want to get past, if none of them make any mistakes. But Haas not doing too great, only on 8 points. One of their drivers down in P15, one in P6. There are lots of drivers, still have a lot of work to do in this race, but the top 4 are really stretching their legs, especially the top 3. But Milan not too far behind. If they battle, he could catch up. But Bram does look like he is the overall race pace over Klaassen, as he is only 3 tenths behind him, as he's going to deploy a bit of ERS and DRS. But Bram has a lot more ERS than Klaassen, around 60% more. Not even using it, he's gaining even more to him. As Murray, fastest lap of the race, as he's now overtaking Max. Can he go round the outside at turn 1? Goes for the switchback. Looks good. Goes for the second switchback. Now he's going to deploy ERS and DRS, and he's going to get past. That is a very nice move if he can keep it down the inside. So very nice move, as Austin gets a 3-second time penalty. That is a beautiful move from Murray. A round of applause to him. That was absolutely amazing, and he also holds the fastest lap. But Bram, Klaassen, Leon all in a league of their own, gapping Milan and Dylan. But Bram is really putting a lot of pressure on Klaassen, and he is actually dropping back a bit from Leon. If he doesn't get DRS, he will be a sitting duck on the straight, and I believe that is Luca going slow, not sure why, but it looks like Klaassen might not have DRS as they're both deploying all their ERS. And it looks like Leon has broken the DRS train. And that means Bram is going to be very, very quick on this straight compared to Klaassen. Surely he's going to get the move done. He doesn't need to deploy ERS. But he has, I believe, backed off there. It sounded like he lifted on the straight. So he wants to stay behind Klaassen. Or he wants to overtake him now. As he deploys ERS, DRS. He's going to go down the inside. Who brakes later? As there's contact. And that could be damage. As Luca gets a 10-second time penalty. But that was very tight between Bram and Klaassen. They made slight bit contact. Hopefully there's no damage. As Luke has now been lapped. And he's made contact with Klaassen. Hopefully that didn't affect Klaassen as the virtual safety car is out. Hopefully Klaassen hasn't got damage from that. Because that could have just ruined the race if he did. Because they definitely made contact. But I don't know what Luca is doing. 15 seconds worth of penalties, no front wing. Virtual safety car out because of him. Bertram gets a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And he's now side by side with Benedek. Then Luca gets another 5-second time penalty. At this rate, I won't be surprised if he gets disqualified. He has been lapped by pretty much the whole field at this point. But Klaassen has been gapped by what? Actually, Milan has got past his teammate. When did that happen? Bram went from P3 fighting for P2 to having to pit. Could this be a front wing change? If it is, that will be for the collision between him and Klaassen. And it is a front wing change for Bram from contact between him and Klaassen. That could be a very controversial moment in this race, and that could be something that gets reported after, as Nathan has left the session. I don't think he was racing today, but Leon now 1.7 out in front. He's going to try and dominate this from the front. No safety cars is what he wants, as Daniel Hopeless is up into P4. Luca, another 5-second time penalty. I'm really not sure what he's doing here. He seems to be making up his new track by cutting every single corner. But if Klaassen has damage, Milan could be getting in on the action. But they still have dropped P4 and the whole group behind. But we're going to go on board with Murray, who is trying to get past the Alpine, as Austin has retired from the session. Let's see, and that is a full safety car out. What has happened? Into the wall on the right hand side at the end of sector 1. That is a full safety car out. Few cars will be looking to pit, as Luca is now also retired. And the leader Leon pits from the lead, as well as Klaassen and Milan. The leaders all pit. Is Daniel going to pit? Yes, he is. Top 4 all pitting. And Webber stays out and takes the race lead, not the net lead, because unless he has made a pit stop, but he did start on the mediums. Yeah, he hasn't made a pit stop. But Murray onto the hards, quite a few drivers onto the mediums. But Bertram does come out ahead of Milan. That is not going to help him. Leo stays out and he's going to come out. Daniel is just going to come out ahead of his teammate. Few drivers on the softs, few drivers on the hards. Most of all, a lot of drivers on the mediums. Medium tyres are the best race tyre, as Nathan has joined yet again. But Webber is going to be leading us away from the safety car on old mediums, as he's going to try and warm up the tyres as we go down the drivers. Diego in P10, Bram down in P11 after pitting before the safety car, as Diego gets a drive through for speeding. But Bram, that front wing damage and then the safety car has really messed up his race. But he is a great driver, and I wonder if he will try and fight back through the field. But that will be very risky with overtakes. Benedek also starting high up, having a spin, as well as also having an issue with his teammate. That cost them both some high positions. Leo spin at the start, starting P11, went down to P17, back up into P7, hasn't pitted yet though. Daniel up into P6, or did he start there? Somewhere around there. He has pitted onto medium, so I would say he's in P4. Not bad from Daniel so far. Safety car I don't believe is coming in this lap, so they need to wait for some drivers to catch up to the safety car. Just waiting for Dylan, Lovro and Rasmus. Only a few penalties will be handing out for Dylan, Bertram, Diego, who is now pitting, and Max, who is also pitting. But Diego, I don't know if he knows he can't serve a drive-through under safety car, so that means we're going to have to wait slightly longer as Max now pits for some hard tyres. Might have done that a bit late, maybe he didn't mean to go onto the softs, but now we're just waiting for all these lot to catch up, as Lovro has also pitted for some mediums, as Leo and Daniel both get 5-second time penalties for a collision with each other. I wonder what happened there between the two Haas drivers, and I'm not sure how that's going to go, as Klaassen down in P3, he started P2, but that is because he's net P2. Has everyone pitted? Everyone apart from Leo and Webber have made their stop. Maybe not their final stop, but they have made a stop. And it is going to be between these two to see who pits first. But safety car looks like it could be coming in this lap, as Rasmus has gone wide under safety car. But I do wonder what happened between the two Hasses, as they both now have 5-second time penalties for making contact with each other. Luca, apparently his car wasn't working. Rasmus gets a 5-second time penalty. Nothing on the Discord but the safety car. Is it in this lap? Yes it is, as Diego gets 5-second time penalty, but we're led away by Webber. But let's see if Leon is going to go for a move down into turn 1. He tries it, but Klaassen down the inside. Klaassen is up into P2. What a move from Klaassen. And now he's going to go for the race lead. He is in net race lead. But can Leon go round the outside as Klaassen has been spun by Webber? Klaassen. I wonder if he's got damage, but he's now down to P5. Leon, wow. And there is a yellow flag for, I believe, Milan, who has gone into the gravel. And he's retired from the session. But what happened, wow, between Webber and Klaassen. Klaassen was looking for P1. And now he's down to P5. And he could have damage. Hopefully he doesn't, because we can hopefully see a good drive from him to get him back up in to P3. But Leon now, we need to keep an eye on him. And Daniel, because Daniel is not too far behind. But Leon has such amazing pace today, as Klaassen has now got past Leo. But they're side by side. Good move around the outside by Klaassen. Very solid move there. But let's see between the top 3. Actually, Leo trying to go back at him, but he can't go down the inside there. But let's see if Leon's going to try and make a move. He's not. Webber is just draining ERS. Daniel also sitting behind. Rasmus, 5-second time penalty, speeding in the pit lane. But Leo trying to make a move on Klaassen. Unable to do it at that point. But Klaassen, don't think he has damage. As Murray now looking to get past Leo. Round the outside at turn 4. On the hard tyres. Can he make it? No, but Leo gets a big snap of oversteer, so he's going to come back at him. And they're side by side, they're banging wheels. They're still banging wheels, and Murray gets past. And now Benedict's going to try go around the outside of Leo. Can he get the move done? Not yet, but no, he cannot. As Dylan also now on the back of Benedict. This is a great four-way scrap for P5. But it looks like Leo has gone from, what was it, P4 to P6 in a very short span of time. But we also need to keep an eye on the top 3. Leon's still trying to get past Webber because he knows if he gets past, he will have so much clean air. As Benedict is also trying to get past Leo, who could have damage. He is losing a bit of time. But let's go back on board with Leon, as he's going to try and make a move here on Webber. He's deploying ERS, as DRS is now enabled on this lap. He's going to try and go down the inside at turn 1. Great move. Very solid move. Up into P1 for Leon, the pole sitter, as Benedict side by side with Leo. And now Dylan, can he go around the outside of Benedict? DRS maybe, but they both, Leo's the one, he also has DRS, but great throwaway scrap. Dylan tries to go around the outside. This is, wow, what a move from Benedict. He's got past Leo somehow. It looked like he was the one about to lose the position, but no, as Daniel has actually got past Webber, who's gone into the wall. He has lost his front wing. That was a big spin, and he is into the wall. But Ferrari is recovering well so far, up into P4 and 5. And they both have pitted, I believe. Have they pitted? Yes, they have both pitted. But Dylan now trying to get past Leo. Surely Leo has damage here. He is falling like a stone. Or it could be those hard tyres, as he makes a bit of contact, has a big snap, then loses the position to Bram and Lovro. But Webber does have damage. He was leading for a bit. No longer. But let's see if Bram can now get past Dylan. Bram looking to fight back after getting damaged for contact with Klaassen. But then Klaassen did have contact with Webber. Don't think he got damaged though. But DRS for Bram. He's surely going to try and get past Dylan here, or at least on the second time of asking. As Leo now gets past Lovro. But let's look at Bram, as he's surely going to make the move on Dylan here. But Dylan does not have DRS, so looks like it could be a simple move, but not close enough this time. But they are gaining a bit to Benedict. But let's look at Klaassen, who is coming up on the back of Daniel, who does not have the pace to fight with Leon or Klaassen. Probably going to be DRS. Very simple move. Maybe not on this straight, but the sooner he does it, the better. But Dylan going slightly wide. That opens the door slightly for Bram, who has a big snap of oversteer and taps the wall. That looks like it could be damage for Bram for the second time in this race, as Leo now getting past Lovro. Still yet to pit, but Lovro with the switchback loses the rear end slightly and has to back out. Bram, 3-second time penalty. I think he's going to be out of contention now, 100%, because he looks like he has damage. But Daniel and Klaassen with DRS, is he going to go for the move? He doesn't have as much ERS, but neither of them are using it. He is gaining. He's gaining a lot. Down the inside, locking up. But what a move from Klaassen. That was Daniel Ricciardo-esque. Brake as late as possible. Get it on the apex, as Dan has now spun. Dan has been overtaken and then spun instantly. Probably lost concentration after that move. But that brings the Ferraris up into P3 and 4. Not bad from these two. They are really fighting back after earlier incidents. As Bertram actually gets fastest lap after pitting onto some softs. But Daniel, very disappointing that he's spun there. And Lovro up in P7, splitting the two Hasses. The two drivers yet to pit, I believe, are just Leo. Leo is the only driver yet to pit in this race. But we're going to look at Benedek, and actually these two are side by side, Max and Webber. Let's see, Max around the outside, all a bit of ghosting, bit of bad connections. Looks like Webber stays ahead. But let's have a look at the Ferraris, because they P3 and P4, but they are, one of them's a reserve, so I wonder if that could be team orders to let Benedek pass, because he is the #1 driver. And he will be probably trying to win this race. Well, maybe not win this race, but get ahead, and he has got ahead. But maybe if they just work as a team, DRS train, they will be a force to reckon with. If they keep it clean, as Bram has left, not surprised, few mistakes, bit unlucky, race was out of his hands now. But still looking at the two Ferraris, looking to actually win the Constructors. They do have the world champion on their team, as Daniel gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Looks like both the Aston Martins have left now. And Murray, the reserve driver Ferrari, but still it's not like any reserve driver. He is a Ferrari only reserve, which makes it a bit more motivating to do well for your team and play the team game. But if they just hold a solid DRS train, they will pull a gap from Dylan and Daniel behind. Probably not going to gain on Klaassen and Leon, because they have absolutely firing pace. But if they either just trade positions, then they'll make a lot of time up on the cars behind. I wonder if they, let me just check, are they in a VC together? No, they are not, but you never know, they could be in a private one, they're not in the public one. So far, this race has been very good. And very, very nice. As Webber gets a 3-second time penalty. Person who's gained the most places is Lovro. Lost the most places is Bram or Milan. But Leo is still the only driver yet to pit. How are the tyres doing? Leo on 14 lap old, so he's definitely going for a one stop. But a few other, lots of people on fresher tyres. But we'll keep it on the penalties screen, because we need to see how much penalties everyone has, because that could determine the race. Because Leo 5 seconds, currently looks like, and Dan 8 seconds. Dylan Hughes, and now on 8 seconds after another 3 second. Top 4, no penalties, as Murray has actually lost a bit of time to Benedek, or is that just a delta that is incorrect? I believe it is the delta, because he does not look 1.5 behind and he actually has DRS. So as he crosses, 5 tenths behind. But the two Ferraris working very well as a team. I don't know if they're just trying to keep one driver ahead, or they're trying to just switch drivers depending on how much DRS they have. Neither of them using ERS, but Benedict stays ahead currently. Currently, Lovro looking as if he's looking for P5, which is not bad, considering he started, I believe, round in the bottom 3 after qualifying, which is very good recovery from him. Daniel, very disappointing from him. He was up at one point in P2, got overtaken, then instantly spun. And that really dropped him down behind both Ferraris and Dylan. He also has a few penalties, and the tyres don't like being spun around on temperatures, as Diego has got past Leo, who's gone very wide. Leo on very old tyres, I wonder when he's going to pit. But these two, side by side again, these two are Max and Webb both having some great battles, as Max nearly goes down the inside. Brammer is left, ghosted ahead, or actually no, not ghosted, but an AI. But yeah, Murray dropping back a bit so he can doesn't overtake him with DRS. As Webber has spun, and he does have wing damage. He's lost a bit of his front wing yet again. Is that gonna just yellow flags? No safety car, which is nice. Ooh, Max can't get past Bram because Bram's ghost is in, well, not ghost, AI is in the way. But that's a very clean move up the inside. I know it is against an AI, but very risky move. Worked very well. Murray gets a bit of oversteer there. Now he doesn't want to lose DRS to his teammate because that would really lose them a lot of time. But he doesn't, stays within DRS. So all fine for them. And now they're going to look forward to try and push more. But as long as they stay in DRS, they'll be fine. As Diego now looking to catch up to the back of Lovro and get past. But Lovro is a lot more ERS. 9 to 99 is the gap. 90% more ERS than Diego Lovro has. But the two Ferraris, I wonder if they're going to switch positions. You never know. Neither of them look like they're using much ERS. Gap's still below a second. But Diego might be going for a move now on Lovro. Let's see how old their tyres are. Both have the same lap old tyres, but Diego DRS, and he tries to go down the inside, brakes later, and he's down the inside of Lovro, but Lovro tries to fight back, but has to back out there. Good move from Diego, as timings aren't doing too great, but good move from Diego up into P7, but he does have 10 seconds of time penalties, as Lovro gets 3 seconds, and yet again the closest gap is the Ferraris, who are just consistently pulling away from Dylan. They've gained 2 seconds in a few laps to him. We have 11 laps left of this race, but two drivers we haven't spoken about in a while, Leon and Klaassen. They're in a league of their own. They're just absolutely miles ahead of everyone else. But the gap is a bit too far between them for them to battle. I don't think that either of them has overwhelming pace over the other. I think just the gap's maintaining. As Max gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Murray and Benedek pushing and trying to gain even more time to the guys behind. At this rate, it will be constructors' leaders will be Ferrari, as Daniel has pitted for another set of mediums. That is going to be probably his final stop. Served his 5-second time penalty, so that won't be removed after the race because he's served it now. As Dylan gets a 3-second time penalty. But who isn't going to be pitting up ahead? I don't think Murray's going to be pitting, but I think Benedek will be pitting. Let's see everyone's tyre wear. Murray, can he do another 10 laps on these? Probably. Benedek, not sure if he can do 10. I think everyone at this rate, if Murray doesn't pit, he's going to be in P1. If he doesn't need to do another pit stop, he will be our race leader. It would be nice to see a safety car to battle it out at the end, but you don't always want safety cars. But the gaps are beginning to form as Klaassen and Benedek pit. That puts Murray up into P2, and has Benedek jumped him? No, he has not. But Klaassen onto a fresh set of softs. He's going to be rapid, and he is actually behind Dylan now, but he's also behind his teammate. Teammate might give him a bit of DRS though, which won't be too hindering. But Benedek now out behind Lovro. There's a yellow flag, and that is Diego, who has gone off. Gets out of the way of the Ferrari. But 17 seconds Klaassen needs to make up to get past Murray, as Leo has finally made his first pit stop and a front wing change. Could have been for the collision between him and his teammate, you never know, as he is onto a fresh set of softs. Now has no time penalties. But Lovro up ahead in P5. And he's been overtaken by Benedek. Swoops past on the straight. Up into P5 for the Ferrari. 20 seconds behind his teammate, who I think he could be going to the end. But Klaassen has triggered the undercut on Leon. So now let's see the gap. 26 seconds, so he needs to gain up a fair amount of time if he wants a chance here. But two Haas is not looking too great at this point. Is there anyone ahead who needs to pit? Two cars pitting. But it looks like a few cars could be pitting. Daniel, maybe Leo, also gain a few positions. That would be nice. And the Haas plan will be done. Benedek, P5, trying to catch up. Probably won't be able to on Klaassen because Klaassen's on better tyres. Don't know why Benedek went on to the mediums. Softs were definitely the better choice. Klaassen on fresh softs, and he is gaining time. Let's see now the gap to the leader now, 25. He's taken a second out of Leon, and I wonder if Leon is going to pit, and he looks like he is pitting now. Leon into the pit lane to make his final stop, and Murray, is he pitting? He stays out. Murray is in the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and he could, if he keeps his tyres, how old are they? 14 laps, he needs to take them, as Klaassen gets fastest lap, 1:28.9. He needs to take them another 7 laps, so that will be 21 laps in total. That is doable. And if he pulls it off, he's got 11 seconds to a fresh set of soft tyres on Leon. But Klaassen has really pulled the gap back, only 1.6 now. They could be battling now. And if they battle, Murray will win. But Benedek also not doing bad. But this could be a stroke of strategic masterclass from Murray if this works. But let's have a look at Leo, who is chasing down Max. Let's see the tyre difference. It is 10 laps on different compounds. It should be a simple overtake from Leo, as I know he has the pace after coming P3 last season. He's going to have DRS. Is he going to get past here? Not right now, but he is gaining, as Klaassen is actually losing time to Leon as we speak, but they are both as Leon is gaining time to Murray. But Leo now, as Max goes wide, gets up into P10. That's going to be points, as Rasmus still yet to pit, but Dylan also on fresher tyres than Dan, on better tyres than Dan, is looking to make a move on fresh softs. This could be P5 as Dan actually. Has he tried to do, I swear, if he's tried to do what I think he's tried to do, and it doesn't work, I'm going to be so annoyed. Has he tried to do the Jan tactic where he takes the DRS, lets him past, as Rasmus now pits? I mean, it's worked, but for one lap. But actually, no, it hasn't worked unless he switchbacks. Looks good so far. Didn't work. Not. Yep. Jan simp right there, and now he's going to try go around the outside with more DRS. Switch back to the inside. Might be a little bit of contact. As Leo up into P9. As Rasmus pitted. And Rasmus and his teammate could be taking that point away from him after the penalties are used. But looks like Daniel has lost out on P6. But he just needs to stay with him 3 seconds and he'll be back in P5. But let's look on board with Murray. 6.5 the gap with 5 laps remaining. He set, what was his last lap? Let's pause it. His last lap was 31.3. Leon's last lap was a 28.6. He's not, at this rate, Leon is getting past him. Klaassen, he's dropped off sadly. Leon really, on these soft tyres, has pulled a gap to him. But Benedict also not losing as much as you would have thought. But Rasmus now on fresh set of softs could be looking to get a move on Leo. Before, he's going to probably want to wait here as he now gets DRS, and did he get it in time? Or has Leo just tried to do exactly what Dan has done? He has, but it didn't work. He didn't even get DRS. But he's now ERS and slipstream. Leo is coming back. Is he going to send one to the inside? No, he is not. Oh, he is as Rasmus goes wide. Can he go for a switchback here? Now he has DRS. And now he's going to go for it. Deploys it. And it looks like round the outside. Can he go? As he does go around the outside, but he doesn't. No, maybe. Yes. No. No, he doesn't. Rasmus stays ahead. As Diego is now catching up to Lovro. Leon also catching Murray. 37. What's his lap time? 28.3. That is 2 seconds a lap. Currently Leon is 2 seconds a lap quicker. So he has 4 laps. That would mean he just needs to get the overtake done. Diego now catching a lot to Lovro. And he might go sneak one up the inside. Let's see the tyre wear on these two. Both on the exact same age tyres. Rasmus does have that advantage over Leo. His tyres are brand new, just pitted on this lap. But Leon now 3.5. This is very similar to quite a few F1 real life races this season between Hamilton and Verstappen. As what a dive from Diego! Wow! He doesn't get the move done, but he sent that from a mile away. Now he's going to get it done with DRS, as there's a bit of lag involved around the outside. Are they making contact? No. Oh, they bang tyres, and Diego gets a 3-second time penalty for running wide there. Won't be removed because he did run wide before they banged wheels. Leon 2.5 behind. 3 laps left. This is very, very close. Stream cut out. Apologies. 1 point. Okay, what is the gap now? 2.2 between them now. But Murray, the strategy could also be getting him a P2 instead of P4. Not bad. Definite improvements. But 1.7 the gap. I've lost care on any other driver's controllers disconnected again. Great. Let me fix it. There we go, fixed. Don't know why the controller does this. Lock up from Leon, as he is now he's in DRS range. At the end of this lap there will be 2 laps left, but the grip levels do look like it's going to be difficult for Murray to keep this. But P2 would also be amazing for him, because Klaassen has really not got the pace to gain enough. But looks like it might be on the back straight. They don't have as much ERS as Leon. It's now going to be DRS, and it looks like it could be a very simple move. Depends who breaks later, but I'm sure it will be Leon on these fresh softs. But I don't think he's close enough unless he swings one around the inside, goes to the switchback, but he can't. He's now going to be even closer with DRS now. Surely this move's going to be done. He's really not got the great straight line speed, as Murray stays ahead, but it could be a better traction. No, that is surprising. At this rate, if Murray can keep this up, he will be winning, because defending. 2 laps left of round 1, season 2 of FRL. Lock up again from Leon, and now DRS. I don't think he'll get past on this straight, but Murray could just have the better setup. Less drag, as Bertram gets a 5-second time penalty with speeding in the pit lane. But Murray Leon, at the start we thought it was Klaassen Leon, now it's Murray Leon, and it looks like it just looks like it could be such a simple move, as he's trying to make sure he gets DRS as they slow down a bit. Now he's going to deploy, they're both deploying all the ERS, and Leon is the DRS. He's going to absolutely swoop past now. He's a full car length in front, and Leon is back into the lead, as there's 2 laps left of this race. DRS for Murray, but he's just not close enough. But Murray has fought really well there. P2 for him will still be amazing, considering he would be P4. But this will be our great points haul for Ferrari. Mediocre for Haas, decent for Mercedes. No one else getting double point scorers, as Max gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. But it will be interesting to see who's been on these tyres the longest. Murray has. If he gets a puncture, that could be very bad. But what I'm confused about is how Klaassen isn't gaining time on him. It's just Leon gaining time on him. So there's a yellow flag in sector 1, and it's Lovro who spun. That's going to cost him even more points as Leo now gets past. That gives Leo, how close is he? Leo could be looking, he could be P7 at the end of this. P7 and P6 for Haas will not be too bad, as Leon, fastest lap, 1:28.4. Could be looking for a hat-trick. Pole position, fastest lap, win. Leon could be looking at, sadly not a Grand Slam because he hasn't led every lap. If we see a Grand Slam this season by any driver, that will be absolutely ridiculous. They will need some severe pace. But tyre differences between Lovro and Leo, 1 lap difference, 1 lap fresher, for as there's a yellow flag, and it's Dylan. That's going to cost him P5 to Dan, and that means even more points for Haas, as Dan now round the outside. But Dylan does have the fresher tyres, but not the confidence as he just spun. Banging wheels Again, back around the outside. So much contact, and this is the final lap. And Dylan's been spun. That could definitely go to the stewards. And that really isn't great for either driver. As he spun again, this could be costing him every point he could have. As Leon, amazing pole position, fastest lap, he wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Murray P2 on his Ferrari debut, his FRL debut, reserve driver for Ferrari. Clarkson, we thought he'd be up there, he is up there, but only P3. Congratulations to Clarkson. And then the second Ferrari driver, Benedict, the team leader, gets P4. Ferrari absolutely amazing this weekend. P2, P4, they're leading the Constructors' Championship. And now we look on board to Daniel, who crosses the line. P5 on the first race. But now we have Leo trying to get past Lovro, even though he doesn't need to, because of the penalties. But Leo is going to get a few points here, as Rasmus crosses line, Dylan crosses the line, Lovro crosses the line, and Leo only P9, but he was 0.3 off P7, 1.3 seconds off P6. Very close, as that rounds up the points, as Webber, Bertram, Max and Bram all finish. Bertram actually trying to attack Webber there, but that has been an amazing race. Well done Leon, well done Murray, well done Clarkson, well done Ferrari. That was a very good strategy from Murray, and also great pace from Leon. He really drove super strong there. The race is over. I wonder who's driver of the day. Who could it be? I think it could be Lovro, maybe Murray. Let's see. It is Murray. He deserved that. That strategy was amazing. The one stop, soft to hard, went to the end, almost won. But there is the podium. Leon, Murray, Clarkson. Congratulations to those three. First three podiums. Mercedes and Ferrari, the only two teams to have a full lineup, team principal, drivers and a reserve. Although they do have a team principal who is their driver in Benedek. But the race is over. Quite a few penalties, going to be some looking at by the stewards, but I don't think they'll be taking away the podium, as they all drove brilliantly. Congratulations to everyone who raced today, but mainly to Leon, winning his first race. 100% win rate. But also Mercedes, P3 and 6, not as bad, but not as good as Ferrari. Haas, mediocre, 9th, but 5th is good. And there's a few DNFs, which were Luca, Austin and Milan, all DNFing, as well as Bram, who disconnected or just left. But I hope you enjoyed FRL this week, and we'll see you next week for the second race of the season. Stay tuned, and we'll see